As the leaves drift from their branches to become nutrients for the roots beneath the soil, and the trees enter a deep rest before flourishing with abundance in the spring, I too have been releasing limiting beliefs and anything that disturbs my peace. I am no longer compromising my inner peace. Yoga has taught me that protecting my peace will always be number one if I want to radiate peaceful energy out into the world. I feel less like myself around certain people and situations that disrupt this easeful flow of peace. I feel the most nourished when I make decisions based off how any given situation might make me feel. If it's not a full body yes, it's a no. This has helped me release people-pleasing tendencies and choose myself every time. And over time, I'm able to show up fully for those around me and serve more from an overflowing cup. Hari Om, welcome back to my channel. My name is Bodhi, and I have had this one specific topic on my mind for a while now. And if there is any lesson that I have learned in the recent literal month of my life, is that protecting my peace should be this uncompromising, unwavering daily effort to prioritize things that only nourish me and just feel good, because there have been some recent situations where I just did not, it just was draining, and now I feel myself sinking into that pattern of overwhelm because instead of just staying true to the plans that I make for myself, I'm like overriding them for other people's needs, and then I'm not meeting my own needs, and then that's just reflecting outwardly in every other aspect of life, creatively. I was really reflecting this week. I was really thinking about it, and it's more than just like, it's like a duh, you want to protect your peace, but it's like setting boundaries manifests in so many different ways, even when we don't realize we're setting boundaries, because I'm learning how when I'm saying, oh, this is what I really want to do today, low-key, that's like a boundary I'm trying to set, and then when I deviate from what I want to do today for something else or whatever, or just trying to, maybe it's a little bit of a people-pleasing habit to meet someone else's needs, be available for somebody else, and then I'm at the end of the by the end of the day, I'm just sitting in my room like, oh, I have no time for myself now. And doing that daily gets overwhelming, and that builds up, and I find further imbalance, further disturbs my peace, and it gets harder to kind of rope myself back in. I know for me personally, October has been an insane month, like just busy, just out of my routine, and I want to find balance between like a little bit of spontaneous and then just really being like, I'm nesting, I'm cocooning, I need to meet myself where I am so I can check in and balance and fine tune my energy and my intentions. I just wanted to like kind of talk about some little points. I have them on my phone because if I don't try to keep track of the points I want to make, I will go off in an ADHD rant, and then I'll be like, what was I talking about? So the first thing I kind of already mentioned was like realizing all the little ways that I set boundaries and not compromising them. Come in little statements, come in like, oh, I really want to do this today. Oh, I really want to do this, because that's something that I have been thinking about all day while at work, and I'm like, when I get off, I'm going to do this, this, and this. But then allowing those thoughts and those plans to be compromised for somebody else's plans and somebody else's energy in a way that like maybe doing it one time like it's not as like bad, but then over time when that keeps happening, it really builds up, and every day I feel like I'm losing track of myself. I feel like I'm not keeping up with myself, so I feel behind on myself, not to the world, not comparing to the world, but like to me, I'm like, wow, I can't keep up with this. I need to make a change. Those little boundaries, those little things, I feel like that start off with like, I want to do this. Like when you think about that thing you want to do, but then you catch yourself at the end of the day being like, I didn't even do anything. Granted, being neurospicy, that can also look like ADHD things, but that's why trying to find a way to plan out what I'm going to do, or like having the determination in my brain to be like, I'm going to do this. When I get off work, I'm not going to sit down. I'm going to make my tea and I'm going to do this, or I'm going to make dinner and do this. Like, I'm not going to sit too long. I'm not going to be in front of the TV. I'm not going to have my phone in my hand, because those other distractions will make it harder to actually execute the things that I want to do. And then the other realization is not allowing others to compromise my boundaries either. And that's a big duh. Like, I feel like our generation is pretty big on understanding when it's not okay for people to cross over a boundary that you've set, but especially if you say that you want rest today and someone is still pushing that, like pushing you to go against your wisdom, go against your own boundaries, that's like someone trying to push you past your limit, and that's just not a person you really, maybe not want to not spend too much time around. Like, if they're not, that's like a level of a lack of respect, and trying to hold firm in your respect with someone else is like, oh no, you should go against your own boundaries. It's something that I've allowed people to do to me in the past, and that is something that I've reached a point where I just can't anymore. I am just grateful for the little circle I have where we all just respect and honor each other's needs in different times, because we understand when we're overwhelmed, exhausted, burnt out, and stuff like that, and things of that nature. So that's just become like something that is kind of a red flag, honestly, in a person, when you already establish, hey, kind of just want to chill today, and then someone's like pushing you or kind of being like, and it's maybe like a small form of manipulation too, honestly. It is hard at first, and it does take time. It does take time, kind of like a season of being alone, but not in a sense of where you're isolated, but just where you are taking the time to meet your own needs, to fulfill the desires and goals that you have for yourself. There's actually a newer realization where I'm like figuring out that I actually need to spend more time alone, like way more time. It's natural to think like, oh, I'm not doing anything today, I can go hang out with a friend. But if doing nothing is you actually prioritizing your energy and your needs, that's not nothing, that's something. And so being like, I just want to stay home and read today, that's a plan that you make with yourself, that I make with myself. Or I'm just gonna do yoga, work on my course, and journal, and maybe paint or something. And that can look like being alone in your room, but that's a plan that you're setting for yourself. That's a boundary. I feel like sometimes there's a level of restlessness that comes up, because I feel like society makes productivity, and part of being a productive member of society is going out all the time, like just being outside of your house. But you get so much restorative, healing, nourishing energy when you can dedicate time and space to yourself. And sometimes, some periods you need more of that than other periods, and that's supernatural. That's natural. That is a natural need. It's even better too, honestly, if you have that maybe one other person where you can body double, and you're not really engaging with each other, but you're in a presence and it's a shared space, but you're like focused on the thing you're wanting to do. That's kind of what I love about my yoga room, is that I have like different seated areas where someone could come over and just not even talk, just grab what they need and sit down, and I'm gonna do this and they're gonna do that, and it keeps you feeling on task. That's just another random one-off point, but honoring your personal plans that you make with yourself is a way that you don't cross your own boundaries, and a way that you build consistent, almost like discipline. And it's like a positive discipline where you can build that trust with yourself, that you know that you'll do what you need to nourish yourself first, because I feel like we're taught to put other people first, or other people's energies and needs first, at least if you raised a people pleaser like me. And as a recovering people pleaser, I've just learned that it's okay to have people disappointed in you. It is okay if people are upset at you. It is unrealistic to make everybody happy. You can still people please and people will still be unhappy, and that's crippling. So you just, at this point, protect your peace, honor yourself first, prioritize your time, first always. And of course it's a little different if you have kids. I don't have kids, so I'm just speaking from my experience. It's work, it's effort, but it also, I feel like, takes the same amount of effort to scroll on your phone for 4 hours and then make plans and be drained by the end of the night. Like, I feel like when you build these practices for honoring your needs first and prioritizing yourself, you're building that self-love. Like, that's a self-love practice in and of itself, where you're just like, yes, like, I can honor myself so I can love myself, meet myself where I'm at from day to day, and then let that overflow into the world, into the people around you. And it's almost like an influence where other people could be like, wow, I can do that too. But then, like, once you come together from a overflowing place of deep nourishment, you can build those nourishing communities. And I feel like that puts to play the, like, saying of, like, if you want to make a change in the world, start with yourself. Like, everything does start, like, from a point, and it's like we ourselves are point A, and then point B might be like building that nourishing community, and then you have those people in your life where you are becoming recharged being with those people, and it's not draining. And I feel like that's like a new goal. It's just, you can only really truly be responsible for yourself in a place of non-attachment. We can only help others where they can help themselves, but so much. And it's like, where do you draw the line of this person's not helping themselves, but it's draining me and I'm trying to help them, but I can't. I gotta come back to myself. And that's kind of a reality that took a while to realize, just because I feel like we're also brought up in society to feel obligated to, like, help other people in ways that it's not realistic or really possible for us to help other people. And I just want to say, the other important part with protecting your peace, like, boundaries is a huge thing. And it's not just saying no, which saying no is necessary, but it's the little things that you have in your brain, like I said before, oh, I really want to do this today, or I just really need to take space, I really need to rest, I'm really feeling like I need to slow down. Saying I'm feeling overwhelmed, I'm feeling burnt out, should be almost like an implication that you need space too. So there's little ways that we place boundaries, and then the people who push those boundaries, it's like, do they really care about us? Do they actually have and hold that space of grace and love for us to be able to nourish ourselves first? Cultivating that inner peace is also finding the little things that bring you back to that place of peace, that make you feel grounded and balanced. And this looks different for everybody. And I want to say, like, mindfulness, yoga, meditation is an easy place to start, but also for, like, say, an artist that is drawing in their sketchbook and not thinking about anything else, or reading, or studying up on a topic that you're excited about to learn, and just things that stimulate us in different ways. I feel like more often than not, that's actually requires us to be with ourselves. I'm not saying go out and isolate yourself and be alone, but just, like, pay attention to your thoughts. I feel like cultivating a meditation practice helps to realize our thought quality definitely comes from how her body is feeling. And I feel like you can also recognize burnout and recognize when you're drained based on your thoughts, and how, like, maybe if you're feeling frustration and agitation, anxiety, even a level of anger, because over time feeling frustrated just builds up and you just feel so kind of angry at the world and everyone around you. Even like, say, if no one's doing anything to you, but you're just feeling agitated. Learning to just breathe and recognize the emotions, and then being like, why am I feeling frustrated? Because I don't have time for this, or maybe because I've been really wanting to do this and I don't have time for it. And it's just your sign to make space for yourself. I feel like there's a lot of healing that comes with community and being with people and surrounding yourself with people who are nourishing and loving, recharging in and of itself. But to attract those people too, there's a degree of discipline you have to have with your peace to know that it's unwavering. You can't compromise it anymore. There's literally, like, there's just no time for you to compromise your peace. It's like, what's the point? Like, you have to still, this is your life experience. You deserve to have an easeful and peaceful life experience. And that's the way that I see it. You deserve to cultivate that inner depth of love with yourself to know that you deserve to feel good all the time, at all times. Yeah, I've had this on my brain all week, and just recent events in my life, I'm just like, yo, honestly, like, I'm finally at a place where I am surrounded by people who only nourish my energy. And when I'm feeling low, it's honestly like, aside from venting and like stuff like that, we really can't like externally project and lean on people to solve our problems. Like, we really do have to like go inward and take space with ourselves. I feel like it's a super underrated practice. It's just being like, maybe spending like a week where you're just in your vibe, noticing your energy, noticing the subtle, noticing your thoughts, and being able to move properly. Maybe, and it comes around routine and diet, stress management, lifestyle, balance. Like, all of these things are necessary to find that balance to feel good. And it's a practice that takes so much time, but it's definitely worth it in the end when you have those aha moments of like, wow, like, I have worked so hard for myself, and now I can show up for myself and show up for others to the fullest. And we deserve that. We all deserve that. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll catch you guys next week. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.